Coming up, a bank robber leaves behind a mystery package forcing the evacuation of several blocks in Meridian this afternoon. And plans to build a new bridge across the Boise River could be on the fast track. News at 5 is next.
Number 1 at 5, where the news comes first. This is Idaho's News Channel 7. The News at 5 starts now.
Welcome to the News at 5. I'm Dee Sarton. 4 blocks in downtown Meridian closed off for hours this afternoon because of an armed robbery and bomb scare. It happened at the corner of Maine and Idaho in Meridian, and that's where our crime reporter Andrea Dearden is live with the latest.
That's right, Dee. The armed robbery was here at the Idaho Independent Bank, right at the corner of Maine and Idaho. Police were called to the bank at about 12:45 this afternoon after a man walked into the bank, confronted a teller, and demanded cash.
He showed what the manager believes to be a handgun in his waistband and some unknown type device. He demanded money.
And once the man had the money, the robber ran, but he dropped the device on a desk as he left. And because of that device that looked like a bomb, Stowe says the businesses within 2 blocks of the bank were evacuated and the streets were shut down. The Boise Police Department bomb squad was called in. They used the robot to go in, find the device, and determine it was not an explosive. Lieutenant Bob Stowe says it was not a bomb, but just a decoy made to look much like an explosive device. By 3 o'clock this afternoon, a little more than 2 hours after the incident began, the roads were reopened and people allowed back inside the businesses. Right now, there are cones still marking the entrance to the bank as investigators are still looking for evidence inside. They have very little to go on in terms of searching for this suspect. They do have a description. We can give that to you right now. It is a white male, about 5'5", a thin build. He was wearing a blue and white plaid shirt and blue jeans, also a fake black beard. That was at the time of the robbery. He left the bank on foot, and that's what police are going on. If anybody has any information, they're asked to call Crime Stoppers at 343-COPS. Dee?
Okay, Andrea, thank you so much. Appreciate that. We can see the wind blowing outside, and if you look outside, you'll see it looks like something's brewing. Here's our chief meteorologist, Rick Lance.
Well, that was the case with Andrea. You can see the winds blowing, and also if you go outside with our live shot from Skycam 7, kicked up quite a bit of dust around the area as you look downtown, so it is somewhat dusty, and really the whole thing that tells the story is Live Storm Tracker 7000. And over southern Idaho, it doesn't look like too much in the area so far, but you can see up toward Sun Valley, there's an area of thunderstorms moving up there from the southwest. They also have some lightning embedded in that. And right around the Boise area, most of the storms have moved over the Owyhees coming up from the southwest. I'll show you some of the lightning of the storms there right around the Three Corners area just south of Jordan Valley. And when that moved off the Owyhees into the valley, a lot of those storms basically started to break up. And as they fell from the higher elevations, it caused the winds up from the south, and that's kind of the swirling action that we're getting right now, which is causing all of those winds outside. Not so much for Ontario, but you see Boise with a 26-mile-an-hour wind gust. Melba had 30. Twin Falls, nearly 30 miles an hour. And that's pretty much what we have right now. High temperature today so far, Dee, has been up to 99 degrees. We're going to tell you more about these storms in the area, what they mean for us. It's coming up.
Okay, looks like we better keep a close eye on them. Rick, thank you so much. An agreement reached today between Harris Ranch developers and the Ada County Highway District is expected to speed up construction of an East Park Center bridge. The bridge would go over the Boise River and connect the end of Park Center at Bound Crossing to Warm Springs Avenue near Warm Springs Mesa. News Channel 7's Robbie Johnson has more on how this may change things in East Boise.
To give you some history on this, in the late 90s, Harris Ranch developers entered their first agreement with ACHD to have Harris Ranch be responsible for the construction of the bridge, which was intended to be built by now. But that agreement dissolved after Harris Ranch backed out and ACHD later threatened to file a lawsuit. Today, a new agreement was reached that will shift responsibility to ACHD for the construction of the bridge, with advanced funds from developers to help pay for it. The new plan calls for 4 lanes on the bridge instead of just 2, and will also include reimbursement for Harris Ranch through impact fees. That means the growth in East Boise that will result in the building of the bridge will help pay for most of the nearly $11 million project, and ACHD general funds will cover the rest.
About 70% of the costs of this project will be borne by impact fees. So in other words, growth will be covering approximately 70% of the cost.
Construction of the bridge is scheduled to start in 2008 and finish in 2010. Of course, Harris Ranch wants the bridge built because the city capped development when bridge talks stalled. Now developers plan to go to the city to move forward with their plan to build the rest of the 3,100 home project that makes up Harris Ranch. Dee?
Thank you, Robbie. Well, by a vote of 412 to 8, the U.S. House of Representatives has passed a highway and mass transit bill. Lawmakers voted in favor of the $286 billion bill on Capitol Hill this afternoon. Today's move will send new federal money to all states to repair bridges, roads, and rail systems. Idaho will get nearly $287 million. Some of the money is earmarked to widen part of U.S. Highway 95 in North Idaho, to build an I-84 interchange at 10 Mile Road in Meridian, and to widen Amity Road. All 4 of the suspected suicide bombers from last week's failed London attacks have been captured. But British police say the investigation is far from over. Here's NBC's Ned Colt with the latest from London.
The raids here in London began mid-morning in the Notting Hill neighborhood. 2 men, one linked to a subway bombing and the other to a bus attack, refused to give themselves up to police. Police say they were forced to use special tactics, lobbing in stun grenades to flush the 2 men from the building. After about an hour of negotiation, they emerged shirtless. One of the men is the suspected Hackney bus bomber, named as 27-year-old Mukhtar Saeed Ibrahim. He's a British citizen. That's him on the left.
The investigation has, of course, moved with some speed. There will be more very visible police activity.
Police also say they arrested a man named Ramzi Mohammed. That's him on the right. He's believed to be the suspect wanted in connection with the Oval Tube bombing. That suspect is notorious for wearing a New York sweatshirt while carrying out his attack. Meanwhile, in Rome today, police picked up a Somali man named Hussein Osman. Apparently, he's a British national who is believed to be the lead suspect behind last Thursday's failed attack on the Shepherd's Bush tube station. Now, police had ratcheted up their investigation following Wednesday's arrest of the first of the suspected bombers, 24-year-old Yassin Hassan Omar. He was believed responsible for the Warren Street tube attack and may have provided the information that led to today's arrest. In a briefing tonight, anti-terror police warned the terror threat remains very real despite these arrests. Ned Colt, NBC News, London.
Well, a Utah girl's instincts may have saved her life after an attempted abduction. 12-year-old Mackenzie says she and her brother were riding their bikes near their home in Ogden, Utah, when a man in a truck asked if they would help find his dog. Mackenzie, whose last name was not released, says something just didn't feel quite right, so they declined. As they attempted to leave, convicted criminal Damon Christ grabbed her. Mackenzie says that's when her survival instincts kicked in and she decided to fight.
All the kidnappings that you hear about, that the bad things have happened to, I didn't want that to happen because I have dreams that I want to fulfill, and that was one way, fighting was one way that I would have a chance to fulfill those dreams.
Wow, what a mature young lady. Police say they were able to arrest Mackenzie's suspected abductor within a day and a half because she gave them such a good description. The search continues for Natalie Holloway across Aruba, even after the FBI announced hairs found on that piece of duct tape, well, they're not those of the missing 18-year-old girl. Searchers appear very busy today following new leads, though. They were back at a landfill where a witness says he saw people dumping what looked like a body 3 days after Natalie Holloway disappeared. Searchers are also in the area where they have been draining a field and a pond. That's where another witness says he saw all 3 suspects the morning Natalie vanished. Well, the more NASA engineers look at potential damaged spots on the shuttle Discovery, the better they apparently feel about the safety of the crew. In fact, the outlook for Discovery is so good this afternoon, administrators who once suggested the ship could come home early now are considering extending the mission. Jay Gray has more from the Johnson Space Center in Houston.
The focused inspection survey that will be upcoming.
NASA engineers used high-power cameras and lasers as they narrowed their search to 6 high-priority areas of possible damage on the shuttle Discovery.
Of the 6 targets that we wanted to look at, I can tell you one of them is up here on the nose gear door. It's the one that everybody's been talking about.
The shuttle astronauts told AP Radio they are confident there's no catastrophic problem with the spacecraft that might threaten their return to Earth.
We're in really great shape, and we know that Discovery is going to get us back to Earth safe.
But that return to flight could come a day later than originally planned. Because of the potential for long delays in future shuttle missions, NASA administrators are now considering leaving the shuttle docked at the International Space Station an extra day. The Discovery crew would use the time to help with minor repairs on the space station and could provide updated equipment such as new laptop computers.
We're going to finish up this procedure and then
Today, the astronauts donned hard hats as they delivered the essentials, 15 tons of food and supplies.
Discovery Houston.
While on the ground, NASA scientists kept their focus on delivering the 7 astronauts on Discovery safely back to solid ground. Jay Gray, NBC News, Johnson Space Center.
Tomorrow is a big day for the shuttle crew with the first of 3 scheduled spacewalks. Astronauts will test new tile repair techniques, a procedure that they do not expect to use on this mission, but that they could implement during future flights. In other news around America tonight, a Marine drill instructor now faces the military's version of a grand jury in connection with the drowning death of a recruit. The death of 19-year-old recruit Jason Tharp drew national attention because of this video. It shows another drill instructor grabbing and striking Tharp poolside during swim training. The day after this video was shot, Tharp drowned in that training pool at Parris Island, South Carolina. Staff Sergeant Nadia Lopez has been charged with negligent homicide and 10 counts of assault. A surprising announcement from Senate Majority Leader Bill Frist this morning. Frist is changing positions on federal funding for stem cell research. He's splitting with the White House and Christian conservatives over this controversial issue. Frist says he now supports legislation to remove limits on the program and expand federal financing. President Bush signed legislation this morning aimed at reducing the number of patient injuries and deaths caused by medical mistakes. What you're looking at here, though, is that chemical plant that was on fire. I'll tell you about that in a moment. Back to the president. The most recent study shows that as many as 260 people a day die from hospital medical errors. That's up to 98,000 deaths each year. More deaths occur from medical mistakes than motor vehicle accidents, breast or cervical cancer, or AIDS. And again, the president has signed legislation that will hopefully reduce those numbers. Well, a day after a spectacular fire and series of explosions at Texas chemical plant, it continues to smolder. Not much remains of the plant in Fort Worth, where Thursday afternoon intense flames and shooting balls of fire erupted from the site. 4 people were sent to the hospital, though none of the injuries turned out to be life-threatening. Later here on the News at 5, a new way to help your teen get to the head of the class. In Tech Files, Mike Goldfein tries out some software designed to make kids better informed students. And next, another story for parents and grandparents. We'll tell you what to look for if you're worried your teen might have a drug problem. The News at 5 will be right back.
Why are people from all over the country buying cars and trucks from EDMARK Superstore? Come take one for a spin. EDMARK Superstore.
I owe you $3. Love, Mom. I owe you $1. I owe you $3. Love. Mom.
Who wants cookies? What?
No matter what stage you're at in life, there's a Wells Fargo banker ready to listen and help. Get more than free checking. Get to your next stage.
Papa Murphy's. So tell me, why were you voted the best pizza chain in America?
Well, ma'am, because we use only the finest ingredients and they're all really fresh. And right now, get an incredible value with our large pepperoni pizza for only $5.99. It's a delicious pizza loaded with 100% real cheese, then topped with 60 slices of pepperoni, all prepared on a bake-and-serve tray. Now get our large pepperoni pizza for just $5.99. Papa Murphy's Take and Bake Pizza. Handmade, home-baked.
No rolling mortgage. That's why Geico.com is so simple. Or is it because you can chat with an associate if you need help and get a free rate quote in minutes? 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Simple as that.
EDMARK Superstore is the only dealer in Idaho that carries Hummers. Why not stop by and roam around in our new Hummer building? Come take one for a spin. EDMARK Superstore.
It's Macy's Reinvent Your Home Sale with bonus dollars off sale prices on all Sealy, Simmons, Spring Air, and hotel mattresses. Going on now. Macy's. Way to shop.
You're watching Idaho's News Channel 7 with Dee Sarton and Idaho's Chief Meteorologist Rick Lantz. This is the News at 5.
According to the Partnership for Drug-Free America, 23% of 8th graders in 2004 reported that they had tried an illicit drug. Tonight, NBC's Ann Curry reports on what parents can do to prevent their children from experimenting with drugs and how to respond if they suspect their child is using.
19-year-old Carrick Forbes has struggled with drug addiction since she was 11 years old. As the Forbes family tells me on Dateline Tonight, heroin has consumed the past 8 years of their lives.
We were unable to stop it. It is like a runaway train.
But what can parents do to prevent that train from ever leaving the station? Experts say talk to your children.
Kids who report learning about the risks of drugs from their parents are half as likely to try drugs as those who don't.
Monitor your children's behavior and look for warning signs. Common indications of drug abuse in teens include household money disappearing, even small amounts, a sudden change in the teen's group of friends, changes in eating and sleeping patterns, and a drastic dip in grades. If you suspect something, bring it up when your child is sober, and don't be afraid to reach out for help.
Call your doctor, local hospital, or the local substance abuse referrals system. Every community has one.
And every minute counts.
Intervene as early as possible. If your child has a problem, the sooner they get help, the more likely you are to see a positive outcome.
Important advice as families like the Forbes struggle to help kids through some of their most vulnerable years.
More on Dateline tonight at 7 o'clock and more on the thunderstorms brewing outside right after this look at your local stocks.
The Ford family is growing larger. Don't be left out. At Meridian Ford, you not only get family plan prices, but you get all of the factory rebates too. Every penny. What are you waiting for? With Ford family plan prices and factory rebates, you can get a 2005 F-150 Crew Cab for an amazing $26,660. And at Meridian Ford, you can save almost $11,000 on a new 05 Expedition Limited. They're just $39,353. Ford family plan prices and giant factory rebates. Now that's how you treat family. Meridian Ford, making friends since 1960.
Dateline Friday, you're watching a parent's worst nightmare. Their baby girl, addicted to heroin.
I'd done everything, and I didn't know what else there was to do.
Ann Curry follows a desperate family trying to save their daughter from drugs.
Stop with the camera!
As she steals lies and connives her way from one fix to another.
Everything has to be her way.
Can they save her, or is it too late?
My stomach is in knots.
The High Line. Dateline tonight, 8/7 Central on NBC.
Closed captioning on Idaho's News Channel 7 is made possible by Michael's Furniture Showplace, just off the connector at the River Street exit.
Whoa, whoa, what is that?
It's the new cheesy twisted crust pizza.
Cheesy breadsticks and pizza. Which one should I eat first? Check out the breadstick. It's beautiful. Look at that pizza. It's hot and steamy. I want my cheesy breadstick pizza. Cheesy breadstick! Zip it! Hey, stop it! I'm starving!
Pizza Hut's new Cheesy Twisted Crust Pizza. A blend of cheeses baked onto a breadstick crust with dipping sauce. You can get a large one topping original for $10.99 or make it cheesy for $1 more.
Want another piece?
No, we're all good.
Attention Treasure Valley, a factory authorized clearance sale is going on now at Nelson's RVs. All remaining 2005 inventory must go, and that means big savings for you. Hundreds of motorhomes, travel trailers, fifth wheels, and pickup campers are clearance priced to sell immediately. Find the best prices of the year on the most popular models and floor plans of 2005.
Trade in, trade up.
And take advantage of the low interest rates while they last. The factory authorized clearance sale is going on now at Nelson's RVs, open Sunday.
Tonight, our series on the home front travels to summer camp for children of the military. With moms and dads fighting overseas, some kids face their own battle against fear and loneliness. How they're finding comfort around the campfire. NBC Nightly News tonight.
Idaho's Chief Meteorologist Rick Lantz has the American Meteorological Society seal of approval.
Well, it's pretty dusty out there. The wind's picking up around the area and starting to back off just a little bit at this time of evening. What we're looking at are thunderstorms that are coming off the Owyhees, and basically they're breaking up. We're not really looking for much lightning or thunderstorms in the area for tonight. They're not really brewing. We'll show you that on Storm Tracker 7000. But because they're breaking up, it's causing some of the winds here throughout the area. We'll show you here in just a second. These are the highs today. Boise 99, Caldwell 95, 99 in Payette, and Mountain Home with 99 degrees. Same thing for Ontario, so very close to 100 anyhow. And somebody may do it here, but we do have overcast and the temperatures have dropped a bit, so it doesn't look too likely at this point. Some of the temperatures have already dropped into the upper 80s because of some of the wind around the area. Looking at the live shot outside, and you see the overcast. Let's take a look at live Storm Tracker 7000. We'll see what's out there. First of all, you'll see some lightning strikes being picked up by our sensors around the Sun Valley area, just south of Mountain Home. Also down here around the Three Corners area, Oregon, Idaho, as well as Nevada. Now, up here in Boise, there's not much left except for some of the wind that happens to be in our location. If we go down here through Sun Valley, you'll see the lightning around the Sun Valley area. Still some active thunderstorms there. Also down here around McDermott, moving up here from Nevada, but south of Jordan Valley. And that's what could still come into the area for tonight. Right now, it's not showing us any kind of overcast because we're looking for more for the way of showers. There could be some very light showers out here just northwest of Boise, but most of that is probably drying before it's hitting the ground. But we have had thunderstorms come off the Owyhees, break up, cause some of the winds to the south, and then they kind of swirl around the mountains here in Boise. That's what we're seeing. What I want you to see out of this map, though, is that we're really not looking at much in the way of storms around the area for tonight, except for later this evening. We could be seeing a few just creep up from the southwest, especially up toward Mountain Home. We'll be on the watch for those about the next 2 to 3 hours. Later this evening, they could be moving up from the southwest. Now, these are the temperatures. See, it's down to 88 for Boise, even though the high was 99, but Ontario is still reporting 99, and it's 84 degrees for the current temperature in Twin Falls. Around the northwest, well, temperatures have taken a drop a bit from yesterday because of some of this activity that's been moving up from the south. Now, let's look at what's out over the Pacific. Really not a whole lot that's coming in. Same situation with the low that's off the coastline. We're looking at basically high pressure that's way out here just south into Utah, and the moisture that's coming around that. We've got a low up here, so we're looking at most of this moisture heading to our north, and you can see this moisture coming up around the high into southwestern Idaho. That flow is still out of the southwest. That means heat. That's what we're going to be seeing here for the next couple of days. Temperatures at least in the mid to the upper 90s. And as you look at southern Idaho here, you can see most of those thunderstorms, but the trend heading east of Boise, more toward Mountain Home, as well as the Magic Valley. So let's take a look at our forecast. For Gooding tomorrow, 95, 89 for Burley. Shoshone with 89 degrees, partly cloudy, still some isolated thunderstorms for tomorrow, Sunday, possibly even Monday. Much like today, with just a few clouds around the area, sometimes mostly cloudy, other times partly cloudy, and temperatures still kind of hot. But a little lightning every now and then, and some isolated late afternoon thunderstorms. As you're looking at temperatures here into eastern Oregon, and as we move into the valley for tomorrow, look for temperatures on your Saturday to be the mid to the upper 90s. And that's pretty much what we have for Boise, too. Tomorrow's high temperature at 98 degrees. Low tonight, 68. Tomorrow afternoon, 98. Winds northeast about 10 to 15 miles an hour. And then as you're looking at the next 7 days, well, you see the temperature will be 98 for tomorrow, 99 degrees for Sunday, still 97 for Monday. Most of these days very reminiscent of what we're seeing today. That's into Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Somebody hit with an isolated thunderstorm, which was the case this afternoon, too. So watch for the lightning there. Most of these are high-based. Very little rain, just lightning.
Okay.
The type of weather that really starts fires.
Okay,
yeah.
Rick, thank you so much. Well, don't miss Tech Files. After the break, we're going to show you a new computer program designed to help young people get better grades at school.
You asked me to do some research on the Chrysler Group?
I'm waiting.
They have their most award-winning and freshest lineup ever. 12 vehicles with 5-star frontal crash test rating and projected to retain their value better than GM or Ford.
Yada, yada, yada. You forgot the most important part of all, the deal.
It's Employee Pricing Plus, our employee discount plus cash allowance on Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge.
So I'd say if you can find a better car, buy it.
Couldn't have said it better myself, kid.
The Idaho Lottery presents great ideas for non-winning scratch tickets. The non-winning scratch ticket sock drawer divider. The non-winning scratch ticket macrame hat. Non-winning scratch ticket engine oil absorbent tiles. Or play Sizzlin' 7 Second Chance Scratch Promotion. Enter your non-winning $7 tickets for a chance to win $7,000. It's this summer's Sizzlin' hot new promotion. Sizzlin' Sevens. Play today.
For 10 years now, cars have been telling you about...
There's that saying...
Chevron with TechCrunch.
Chevron with TechCrunch.
Chevron with TechCrunch.
And it turns out, they knew what they were talking about. Because when BMW, GM, Honda, and Toyota established a tough standard for gasoline called Top Tier, Chevron with TechCrunch was the first gasoline designated.
In car talk, that's big stuff.
An all-new Oprah. Demanding.
I wanted her to be the perfect little girl.
Overbearing.
I finally just snapped.
Controlling. You need to set boundaries for yourself.
I tried, but she follows me.
She was spying on her own daughter.
I just want to know where she's going.
Okay, just follow her in the car. Does your mother drive you crazy?
I feel that she's my little girl.
Mothers need to give that up. Next, Oprah.
Monday at 4 on News Channel 7.
Experience the world through the eyes of one of the 20th century's most inspirational artists. Hello, I'm Mayor Dave Beater. This summer, the Boise Art Museum and Wells Fargo are pleased to be showcasing the works of George O'Keeffe. As a pioneer in the arts, O'Keeffe painted the grandeur of the great American landscape with its endless space and evocative color and light, as well as the beauty found in simple, natural objects. Visit BAM this summer and be inspired by a true visionary.
With more pressure on schools to raise achievement scores, there's more pressure on students. And Microsoft is offering help with a new program filled with homework and learning tools. Mike Goldfein gives us a look in today's Tech Files.
Partly because of computers, the pace of learning is higher now than ever before.
How do you feel?
As a result, students generally are facing more homework than in the past. To the rescue comes the just-released Microsoft Student 2006. It may be the most comprehensive research and homework assistance tool ever put together. The $100 program is targeted at middle and high school students. It's loaded with templates to help kids lay out papers and projects for book reports, debates, science research, you name it. There are reference tools to help with math and science, like common equations, and tutorials explain almost any writing assignment.
With Microsoft Student, we're going to be bubbling out those specific tools to help kids actually get past that pain of formatting.
Since the program comes complete with Microsoft Encarta, it is filled with reference content.
Yay.
Timelines that link to multimedia.
The Earth exerts a downward force on objects.
There is an extraordinary set of 3D virtual tours of historic places like the Parthenon. A globe that can display things like demographic, climate, and literacy data. A fun visual browser that lets you drill down for information layer by layer. A graphing calculator. Even book summaries of important literature. If there is a downside, it's this. Student 2006 will only run if you have Windows XP or Windows 2000 Professional. And those great templates will only work if you already own a recent version of Microsoft Office. Combined with the $100 cost, this really great program may be out of reach for low-income students. And that would be a shame. In Washington, Mike Goldfein, Idaho's News Channel 7.
Millions of American families rely on Ford. Right now, Ford invites you to join the Ford Family Plan and pay the same low prices our employees and their families pay. Until August 1st, you'll get our discounts on the entire family of Ford trucks in stock, including F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 28 years. Now, get a Super Crew Lariat for just $31,475. That's more than $9,400 in savings on a Super Crew. No hassles, no gimmicks. Visit your Heart of the West Ford stores and welcome to the family.
It's time to get ready for the final days of Denver Mattress's July store-wide clearance sale. We're taking final markdowns to clear out factory overruns and discontinued merchandise. Plus, get no payments and no interest for 1 year. Clearance sale ends Tuesday, August 2nd.
You okay? Yeah, just one more weekend. Just one more weekend.
Shop Avonley's Hot August Night Summer Clearance Sale, August 1st through the 20th. Avonley, gifts of the heart for your home.
It's Macy's Reinvent Your Home Sale. The newest and best cookware and electrics from Allclad, Calphalon, KitchenAid, and more. Inspiring ideas for your bed and bath. Lauren, Tommy Hilfiger, our own hotel collection, and more. Our biggest home sale going on now. Macy's. Way to shop.
So what do you say? You, me, and Tahiti.
My passport's expired.
Just call 1-800-FED-INFO.
Wherever you are, the answers to all your government questions are never far away.
So, who's up for fondue?
Call 1-800-FED-INFO.
Yeah.
I hear something. Thump, thump, thump.
That's my heart talking to you.
Does it ever say anything else?
If you want to keep your heart healthy, Cheerios, made from all natural whole grain oats, is the only leading cold cereal clinically proven to lower cholesterol.
I hear corp, corp.
That's my stomach.
Your stomach talks too?
Mm-hmm.
Look for the General Mills whole grain guarantee.
Mark Johnson's here with a look at what we're working on for your evening news at 6.
Well, Dee, among the stories we're working on, there is a range fire burning just south of Vail. A couple of reports so far called in. Residents have been warned now to be ready to evacuate in case the flame gets too close. Again, it's a range fire burning south of Vail. We'll have the latest on that coming up tonight in 30 minutes on the news at 6.
All right, thank you so much, Mark. I'll see you then. And finally, here at 5, some screaming brides-to-be in Chicago this morning. It's the annual Filings Basement Running of the Brides. Doors at this Chicago store opened at 8 o'clock. Hundreds of screaming women were anything but ladylike as they snatched up as many dresses as they could grab. As you can see, I would guess that if they don't fit, you'll see them on eBay in the next few weeks. Thanks for being with us. We've got a lot more news at 6. I'll see you then.
Tom Cameron.